Hi, and welcome to another day of Solaris' Summer of Love. I am your host, MC Solaris, paranormal romance author of the Orion's Order series, and I am so excited to be here to talk all about love and also to be here with a special guest that I'm going to invite. So just bear with me while I invite our guest today. Hey Phaedra, how's it going? I thought you were just on the last live, the one with Stephen Farmer I just did, what time is it, 2 hours ago? I thought I saw you on the last live and then I wasn't exactly sure, but I said your name and I said hi. So I don't know, maybe I was just feeling you. Okay. Oh, Rachel said she's just gonna be a hot minute. All right, I'm gonna take a drink of water. Actually, it's not water, it's sparkling water with cranberry juice. Hey Marilyn. I'm still new to this whole Instagram live thing, and I know you were on the Stevens live with me just a little bit ago, and I saw your comment at some point that said, I like your makeup, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. I wanted to let you know I saw it, and I wanted to express my gratitude for you. Hello. Hey, Phaedra. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah, Rachel's sending me a message. Pretty good. I missed it. Yep, the recording with Steven was awesome, as always. And it was recorded. You can actually go watch it on the page, and it'll be on YouTube later. But it's available on my Instagram page. Sorry, let me invite Rachel again. The invite did not go through. Okay, send request. Yes, your makeup and lighting is, oh, thank you. Yeah, I have like a ring light. I did my makeup this morning. Usually it's like unwashed hair and a bun and a hot mess. Okay, thanks. Yep, no problem. Oh, hey, Rachel. Okay, I just sent you the invite. Steven is the real deal, authentic and kind. Oh, it's so true. I love that man. Love, love, love him. He is the best, and I haven't even asked him yet, but I'm secretly hoping, since he has some other books and oracle cards coming out later, he said in the last live, I'm going to try and see if I can wrangle him in for another live and promote his books, and maybe I'll even try and grab a copy of his new book and also his new oracle card deck. I think he said he has a couple coming out. Hey Rachel, it says you're unable to join. Yes. Okay, I'll let him know. Okay, wait, let me try again, Rachel. You're on your phone, right? You have to be on your cell phone. I found out it does not work on the laptop. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I have had to improvise, so you're kind of in a box on a box.
No, okay, yeah, I like all backed up on the situation. Yay! I'm so happy you're here. Okay. What's your Marilyn saying? Oh, hey Suzanne, I see that you joined. What's your book? I have 3 books. The first book in the series is Calypso's Heart. This is probably the cover a lot of people are used to seeing. And anyways, you can go check it out at link in bio. So I have 3 of them. Well, the third one's about to come out. Okay, so yay, Rachel. So happy you're here. Okay, so let's officially dive in. So I will introduce you. So I'm just so excited to talk to you. It's so fun. So Rachel's all the way in the UK. Okay, anyway, so welcome to Solaris's Summer of Love. I'm so excited to be here to talk to Rachel all about love. And let me look at my notes. Sorry, I'm all scatterbrained. Let's see. So I'm excited to introduce you to Rachel Dutton, who is someone I met on my women's health coach training journey. And she's someone who is a serious mega house and powerhouse of tons of knowledge. Anything about women's health, I usually like tapping her on the shoulder and being like, hey, Rachel, what's up with this? Let me hear your thoughts and your downloads. She is also a fellow romance reader and lover of romance books. And she was someone who was the very first person, one of the very first people to read Calypso's Heart, the very rough, roughest rough draft ever.
I loved it. And I was going to say, when you were showing your books, I've got them all and they're amazing. And if you like romance books, you should be reading them.
Thank you. And and you're also someone who I'd love to go to the UK. You're one of the reasons why I'd love to go to the UK, so I can give you a freaking hug in person because we've yet to meet in real life. Okay, and so let's see. Rachel is known as the period whisperer, as she helps people to learn to read and understand their period symptoms and what they need to do to resolve period problems and fertility issues using a range of natural therapies. She loves using essential oils as part of her clinical practice and also in her home potions lab. Today, Rachel is going to gift us with essential oils for reflexology, for love. Basically, we're going to be talking all about essential oils to use them for love and aphrodisiac. And she's also going to gift us a hand reflexology, I don't know what to call it, routine or guide.
Yeah. If you are at the beginning, feel free to go and grab some hand cream or oil or something. You can join in and just follow along. Anyone who is.
So grab your handy dandy lotion if you have some in your purse, or just want to go grab some from the other room.
Do you know what? Even a pinch of cooking oil isn't too bad. It could be better, but it's too bad.
Coconut oil,
yes.
oil, any of the oil. Well, maybe not all the oil.
Face cream.
Ice cream.
Face cream.
Oh, I was like, ice cream seems like a little out there.
No, I don't recommend that.
I also have, if you guys have essential oils, feel free to grab some.
Yes, do. We're going to just do a few snips.
Sorry. Instagram's a little bit weird where it's like only one person can talk at a time. So I will be quiet and I will let you talk.
That's fine. So anyone watching, if you want to grab some hand cream, if you've got essential oils or anything you just want to smell just to join in the experience and know what the process I go through is, feel free to go and grab that, even if it's deodorant or perfume or whatever you've got on hand.
Yes, that's a great point. 1 second, I'm going to turn up the volume on my end. And I'm also going to turn up the brightness. Okay, we're back. It was like super dark, so I couldn't see you. Okay. Yay. So let's just dive in. And by the way, the comments, just to let you know, the comments are there, and I know it looks like it's blocking your face, but after it's recorded and it posts, it doesn't show your comments, so we'll get to see your beautiful smile. Okay, so let me know all the things. I'm excited to use these oils today.
So first of all, with essential oils, there are a couple of sort of boring safety bits. But it is necessary because you can end up with like rashes and stuff if you use them neat. So I've got a free guide on using essential oils for beginners, which covers all the safety bits. If you go to my link in bio, click on it, you can download it there. So that's where you can find it. But a brief overview is always dilute. Lavender is the only one you can kind of get away with using neat, but even if you don't have a reaction to an essential oil, if you do use it too concentrated on a regular basis, you can become intolerant to it. So you've got that. It lasts longer. It actually lasts longer on the skin as well. It takes longer to the volatile oils to escape, so you get to hold the actual therapeutic and the smell onto your skin for a bit longer. So yeah, always dilute. A 1% dilution is 1 drop to a teaspoon of oil or cream. That's very approximate, but it works. You can go up to a 5% dilution. I don't tend to go higher than that because you don't really need to. You still get a therapeutic benefit. The only one that you have to be super careful with is clove oil, and that's 0.5% dilution, so 1 drop to 2 teaspoons of carrier oil or cream. So that's the only one to be careful of. The other thing as well is you can diffuse them. I love diffusing them. You can use a heat diffuser, which you put a candle in, or you can get ones that you plug in. You can also get ones where they sort of bubble it with water and it sort of spurts out. They're all great. But if you have them on longer than 20 minutes, your brain down regulates its response. So make sure you turn it off. So maybe 20 minutes every 2 hours, otherwise you won't notice the smell, and your brain is down regulating your response to it. I'm just going to apologize, it's sunset, so you're going to see my hair change color, and eventually I'll put the light on, but it's just that weird time of day where you're going to see like the sun over my face looking a bit weird. The other thing as well, don't consume internally essential oils unless someone is trained in internal medicine, tells you it's okay to do so in your circumstances. So even ones like peppermint can trigger heart conditions in some people. It's just not worth the hassle when you've got so many other ways of using them. So those are the sort of main cautions, but in general they're safe to use. You just need to dilute them. So yes, let's go ahead. So first of all, I just want to tell you how I think of essential oils when I'm blending them, so that you can get a feel for them. So if you've got an essential oil handy, pick lemon. So if you've got an essential oil, just take some time and some deep breaths, hold it to your nose, and just take a few deep inhalations. So when you're smelling it, have a think how you would describe that particular oil. So I've got lemon, which is obviously citrusy, but I would also say it's bright and tangy. So have a think about how you would describe that oil. So the traditional descriptions are woodsy, earthy, spicy, floral, citrusy, medicinal, or grassy. But you know, if you're thinking it smells bright, it smells cloying is another one I've heard. Whatever description you like, I like to make a note of how it smells to me, and different brands smell slightly different sometimes, and also as the oil gets older and starts to degrade, the smell will change as well. So that's lemon.
Okay, can we pause? I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to scroll back because you said a couple words and I wanted people, in case they're brand new to essential oil. So neat is when you just have a oil and you put it directly on your skin without, you also use the word carrier oil. So carrier oil could most often be like fractionated coconut oil. And so anyways, you're the expert, but I wanted to just highlight those.
It's good because I forget what words people know and what they don't know, so that's fine. But any sort of base oil such as sweet almond oil, grapeseed oil, jojoba is a great one. That's spelled Jojoba. Avocado oil, avocado seed oil, rosehip oil. Not rosehip seed oil because that's very itchy. That's what itching powder is. Be careful. And something else I didn't mention actually, just always do a patch test on your skin before you apply in bulk anywhere. The best place is usually just on the outer part of your wrist, and if you do get any reaction, please ignore anyone that says it's a detox reaction. You can't detox one tiny part of your body. Just wash it off with soap and water. If you don't have soap around, just another base or carrier oil, or even milk will do. Just another fat that breaks it down, basically, because oils are fat, basically.
So we could use the ice cream then.
You could use ice cream. Do you know that a lot of ice creams are actually very high in coconut oil?
I did not know that, but I know that a lot of them have coconut oil or coconuts in it.
Yeah.
I was just browsing through the grocery aisle the other day with a sweet tooth. Sorry. Phaedra says, great. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Great advice. Didn't realize about the 20-minute rule. I didn't know that either. See, that's what I'm saying. Rachel is like a powerhouse of information. I swear every time I talk to her, I'm like, whoa. Always. Oh. And then, so what, if you guys have an essential oil with you and you're testing us, you're doing this along with us, let us know which one you're smelling, and what was the first word that you said? Was it ritzy?
Woodsy, like wood.
Woodsy. Okay, woodsy. I was like, what the heck does ritzy smell like?
Yeah.
Like, it smells dazzling. Like, so dazzling.
Or Woody, like the cowboy from Toy Story.
Yeah, Woody. So I'm actually using, and so speaking of carrier and neat, I'm using this. Rachel actually gave me this. This is Beautiful Blend by doTERRA, and this is actually, Rachel, you can speak to it, but it has, I believe it's fractionated coconut oil in it, so I can actually just directly put this on my skin. And the reason I chose this one is not only because I love the smell of it, but also it has a citrusy and lemony scent. And I know I don't have lemon oil with me, but I know you were talking about lemon, so that's why I chose this one. So I don't know if you guys have essential oils with you, or maybe drop what your favorite essential. What'd you say?
Any scent, perfume, deodorant, anything. You can have a sniff. Just get used to experiencing it.
And when Rachel yesterday was talking about us like kind of experiencing and smelling the oils as we go along, I immediately, for those of you who've read Nalini Singh's Archangel Guild Hunter series, I immediately thought of Elena Devereaux, the hero who has like a bloodhound nose, not an actual, but essentially. And so I was like, oh my God, we're gonna be like Elena and smelling and like feeling calling out what we smell, and she does that in the stories. Anyways, okay, that's all.
I love that. I've forgotten about that. That's brilliant. Tom's put lavender. Do you know what? The next thing I was going to talk about is different notes within essential oils, and lavender is the only one with all three notes, but we'll get to that in a little while. So something else, when you're smelling the oil, also think, does it inspire a particular color, a sound? So I have synesthesia, which means that my brain, when I see a color, I get like a taste in my mouth. When I hear music, I see colors. It's something to do with my neural networks didn't separate completely as a kid, but it's pretty awesome. So just have a sniff and think, what does it remind you of?
Power.
And also, do you get any memory hits from it or any images in your head? So two I love to smell together. And if you're blending, before you even start mixing them, hold them together like this and have a sniff, because you might think they smell divine and they'll probably smell amazing together, and then you have a whiff and you're like, no, that doesn't work for me. So
what do you have?
So I've got lemon and rosemary. Lemon and rosemary. And when I sniff those two together, I'm taken to a time we stayed in a farmhouse in Italy with a vineyard around. That's the memory that comes up for me.
I love what you said about how essential oils is more than just being like, oh, that smells nice. Like, there's also like not only a therapeutic application to them, but also it can just be even for memory recall, or like somehow when you taste something sometimes, and like you said, when you smell, you also taste, or when you, whatever your superpower was, you know, all the things. But I love how you're saying like there's more to the experience of just smelling and being like, that smells really nice. And I think you're probably going to touch on this, but also what memory or what emotion comes up can also play into this whole theme of love.
Yes, it is. So the smell is your limbic system, and actually the bulb where you perceive the sense, where the aroma molecules go up, that's a really short distance to your brain, which is one of the reasons why they think it's such a powerful tool for tapping into emotions and memories of past events. So even if someone says, use this essential oil for this, if you sniff it, and for me it's chamomile, because my mother used to take medicinal chamomile and honey tea, and I can't stand honey, and now I can't stand chamomile with it. So you can tell me it's as relaxing and as sedative as you like, but I smell it and I physically gag at chamomile. And the same can happen with other people with different scents as well. So some people love lavender, and other people like, oh no. And some people will say, oh, rose, yes, that really is an aphrodisiac oil. Other people like, nope, that's my grandmother's smell.
It's so true. I know you were saying hold on. Lang Lang. I think that's how you say it. Whoops.
Ylang.
Ylang. Bring the ylang here. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it because I love you, and I'll bring it here and I'll smell it. But I really don't like this one. It's so funny, but it's like, oh yeah. It's something about it's so strong, and like we're talking about, it has a very floral scent, and it's very heady to me, and it's very, very strong, and something about it, it's like but you can talk about how, you know, we're talking about love and aphrodisiacs, and this one is actually like one of the top, if you're talking about aphrodisiacs, it's like one of the top ones, right?
Yeah. In fact, I shouldn't necessarily say this on the internet, but whenever I have that one open on a blend on my table when I'm mixing them up for clients, if I have it open for too long, or if I've got it diffusing for too long, my husband will always grab my hand and walk me off, and we'll leave it at that. so
I love how he's like attuned to that too, and he probably doesn't even, or maybe he does, I don't know, but
he has no clue what I'm doing each time. So yeah, I've got quite a few friends with ylang stories like that, where it impacts people around them and they have no clue. So yeah, you can be careful. The other thing as well, when you're blending essential, you think is therapeutically.
oh no, I see that.
Are you okay?
Oh wait, Rachel, I don't know if me, but back up like 30 seconds. Sorry, it was like you were spinning a little bit.
Sorry. Okay, so the other thing.
Sorry, not back. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
When you're blending essential oils, if you know you do particularly want to be using one for its therapeutic use, but you don't like the smell of it, it is possible, and unless it's a really stinky oil, that you can blend it with other oils, and it will completely change the scent profile. So sometimes people will say, well, I don't like rose or ylang ylang or frankincense, but they don't notice it when it's in a blend with other things. So you can play around, and as I said, have a sniff of oils together, and even though you can change the ratios, it's cheaper to have a quick sniff with the two under your nose than it is to mix it all together, and then you're like, oh no, that smells terrible, I'm gonna throw that out.
Right. I completely agree. Basically anything with ylang ylang in it, I instantly, I feel like Elena Devereaux in the Guild Hunter series, and I'm like, I can smell the note, and I'm like, nope, not happening. Let's see. Oh yeah, Phaedra says, I'll be using that. Yeah, I know. Anyone out there, ladies or men, I don't know if any males are watching, Lang, go ahead and give that a try and then pop it in the comments and let us know. Let us know what happens.
So then the other thing to have a think about as well when you're playing with oils is whether it's a base note. So that's like a really mellow smell. Think about your red wines, the mellow red wines. And you've got high notes, which are the really bright, like the citrusy ones that instantly sort of hit you, like with the super fruity wines that you get, like white wines. And then you've got a middle note as well, which is obviously in between. And whilst there are official classifications that perfumers use, again, I recommend keeping your own little diary of different oils and the effects they have on you, what you think they are in terms of base, middle, or high notes. So technically a base note will evaporate last and a high note will evaporate first, which is why you get that hit. And lavender is really interesting because you get that instant, very sharp hit. Then you get that middle smell, which is the most commonly recognized one when people smell lavender. And then you get that sort of mellow base that will last for hours when you've applied it. So lavender's a really interesting one. And all of them do go through that scent profile change as they evaporate off. But when you're thinking of using them, especially if you're applying them or you're diffusing them, the smell will change. And obviously when you mix them together, the smell will change of the whole mixture.
I love lavender. It's one of my favorite oils, and it has been for long time. It for a couple of reasons. I'm it right now. Yeah, you immediately get for me, it's I don't know how to describe it. Maybe Phaedra or others in here, let us know what lavender smells like to you.
But some people say it's astringent or very bright, the first hit.
Yeah, it's bright, and then it kind of, like you said, it mellows out a little bit. And I love lavender personally, not only because it's like, for me, it's relaxing and calming, but I also use it for like, when I get like bug bites and stuff, like, I mean, it's great. Or one time I burned my finger pretty bad cooking and I immediately applied lavender oil and it really, really helped like tremendously. I always keep lavender on deck for so many reasons. And I mean, we're talking about love and using essential oils as like essentially for love and aphrodisiacs. And so although Lang may be like a mega house for aphrodisiacs, for me it's like so I don't even use it. But I love how lavender is very like calming and relaxing, and sometimes, you know, before being intimate, and whether it's physically or emotionally or just being present with someone else, it's like it helps to ground and calm down and just relax. And sometimes you're just too stressed and things. So, you know, lavender for me is like, if I needed one oil in the entire world to just have with me at all times, it would be lavender.
I'm exactly the same. And I actually had a really bad burn to my hands that had surgery, and you can't really tell at all. So, and that was because I literally soaked it in lavender. And I also got recommended to use it post-surgery. So I had some wounds that weren't healing on my abdomen from some surgery. And we tried silver dressings and all sorts. And they were looking at having to do further surgery to deal with the infection. And when one of the nurses just said, just try lavender essential oil neat. And I was like, neat? And she went, yeah, it's fine. So I doused myself in it. It cleared up within 2 days. And then started healing.
Wow.
So they tried silver dressings and all sorts of weird and wonderful interventions. It's like, who knew that lavender would do that? It's pretty amazing stuff.
It is. I originally got into essential oils like years and years ago for the more of like not just aromatherapy, but just like this, like just household use instead of just reaching for, you know, a more westernized, which is great. I'm so grateful for like the westernized approach of medicine, but also sometimes it's like I like to try like in these cases, you know, like instead of using like a hydrocortisone or like a steroid cream for a bug bite, let me try the lavender oil first, you know? But anyway, sorry, we're going off topic. This is about aphrodisiacs and love. So
Yeah.
what else? Can we do rose? That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, so let's talk about some oils that I've got suggested. And what I've done is, so that people don't have to scribble this down, again, link in bio, I've got a blog post that I listed everything on, also as a prompt, so I didn't forget stuff. So there are several oils that I recommend if you just want to reconnect yourself and your sort of inner self-love. So my favorite oils for that are bergamot. I tend to say bergamot, the French way. Bitter orange, which is also known as neroli. Cypress, jasmine, patchouli, rose, sandalwood, sweet orange, which is what most people think regular orange, and ylang ylang. Again, just have a sniff and think what you think would work with it. So if you smell something and it's a bit floral, you might want to add a bit of a muskier smell like patchouli. If some people find things like geraniums a bit sweet, so they can add patchouli to give it that sort of more rose smell. Again, if you find like orange super bright, then calming it with a base note, like a woodsy smell like sandalwood or a floral smell can help. So just get used to sort of having a sniff around, and you don't need a ton of essential oils. I have about 5 that I use regularly, despite the fact I've got a massive case next to me. So yeah, don't feel you have to go out and buy a ton. Go into a shop and have a sniff, and yeah, pick the ones that really appeal to you. So the next one, I'm going to talk about sort of libido ones, but there is, I just need to put the disclaimer, low libido can be that you've got a hormonal issue underlying. It's not going to fix that. It's just a short-term pick-me-up. So the ones that I do recommend for if you've got stress problems that are getting in the way are chamomile, lavender, and patchouli, which help to relax. If your mood is down, like you may have mild depression or just feeling a bit of a depressive episode, bright oils like peppermint and citrus oils and sweet orange can be really good to lift your mood. And then if you've got, we'll just say lady problems, if you've got period issues and that is affecting your libido, then some generic ones you can try, but again, they won't fix everything, are clary sage, geranium, and rose. And if you have a thyroid imbalance, myrrh can be really helpful. So with that said, let's talk about the ones specifically for libido. My top ones are clary sage, jasmine, lavender, rose, sandalwood, and ylang ylang. Sandalwood and ylang ylang tend to be the 2 most potent ones. So sandalwood blends really well with floral oils, with citrus oils, and with frankincense. And ylang ylang tends to blend well with citruses, geranium, also sandalwood, and vetiver, but you have to have a lot of patience because that's really slow to come out of the bottle. And just a note, if you're applying this to a male partner, clary sage will actually have the opposite effect on him. So don't apply clary sage to a guy. Ditto with hops, interestingly, which is an ingredient of beer. So I do wonder if that could be a problem for people that drink a lot of beer.
Okay, so recap. Lang Lang is a go. Clary sage, probably keep that on the outskirts of the bedroom for the guy. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and sandalwood is my other big one.
Sandalwood. I'm trying to remember what that one smells like.
It's a woody one, obviously.
Yeah. I was going to say woodsy or no. We can't tell by the name. You know, sometimes names can be deceiving. You mentioned peppermint. I love peppermint. That's one of my all-time favorites. So it's like lavender and then peppermint. Oh,
Decent
it
sandalwood.
reminds me of like Christmas, winter, and it also like I'll use it on my chest with like when I feel like I need to breathe easier, or like if I have I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like if I have a cold or something like that, I'll rub a little peppermint and sometimes wintergreen and just those minty kind of ones. And I feel like it's kind of like a DIY vapor, Vicks vapor, whatever. Again, we're going way off.
They've got camphor and menthol in them, which is that
Yeah.
hit that you get that clears your sinuses.
Yes. 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 Anyways, I love peppermint. So wait, for those of you, I know Phaedra said she has lavender. Hey, Lane and Charlotte and Suzanne. Do you guys have any essential oils on you, or even like Rachel was saying, favorite hand lotion or a didn't you say deodorant or perfume? Take a smell. Anyways, okay, wait. So you were talking about libido, and so your top ones for libido are sandalwood and
I
lang
just
lang.
had, I just had a sniff of sandalwood actually. Just it's the smell of you know when you go into like a DIY place where they chop wood for you, or if you chop wood in your garden to put in the fire, which my parents do, that fresh woodsy smell of freshly chopped wood. Someone's asked a question, what do I like with lavender? Lavender pretty much goes with everything. It goes with most of my blends actually. So it depends what you want from it. So if you want something a bit sort of spicier, I would consider adding either frankincense or even fennel. For relaxation. Okay, perfect. So it depends. So a lot of people mix it with chamomile, which is fine if you like it. As I've obviously mentioned, that's not my thing, but if that works for you, great. Patchouli is another great one for relaxation, and that adds a slightly muskier fragrance. You could go with another floral like geranium or ylang ylang, um, to help with relaxation. And some people find sweet orange can help mellow them. It tends to be a mood balancer. If you're too high, it brings you down. If you're too low, it brings you back up. The one caution I would say with lavender for relaxation is don't use too much. If you use too much, you get that high note hitting you and it can end up stimulating you. So I've heard some people say, I covered my pillow in it and I covered my bed in it and I sprayed it around my room and I couldn't get to sleep. Yeah, but if you'd done that maybe 8 hours before you went to bed, that would have given it time to evaporate off and leave a mellow note. So yeah, just be careful. I hope that helps, Phaedra. So shall we move on to reflexology?
Well, before we move on, sorry, I mean we can. You're in charge here, but I wanted to know. So like, if someone wanted to make a love potion with essential oils, what would be like some recommendations to throw in the potion mix?
So my favorite one that I blend a lot, which is one of my own blends, is 4 drops ylang ylang, 3 drops patchouli, 1 drop frankincense, 1 drop lavender, and 1 drop geranium, and then 2 teaspoons of carrier oil.
So what's your favorite carrier oils to use? Coconut?
Yeah, so coconut is an easy one to get hold of, and if it's fractionated, it's liquid at room temperature. If it's hard oil at room temperature, that's fine too. You just need to melt it before you add things in. But I quite like that actually because it doesn't drip everywhere as much. And my absolute favorite is jojoba. Again, spelled jojoba. But
Right.
I've got really sensitive skin. And it's really great for combination skin. So like I get dry patches and oily patches depending where on my face and body. So that one is great for both and for sensitivity. So
Love.
yeah.
Does anyone have any questions or shout out what kind of essential oils or scents you're smelling or you just have in your purse? If you're, I'm sure Rachel, if you're like me, you just always have like some essential oils like everywhere, including in your purse. Like you never know. And I always keep I mean, I keep talking about lavender, but I always keep it in my purse too because I like to put it on my hands and use it as like a not like a hand sanitizer, but like after I sanitize and wash my hands, I like kind of do a. I'm a triple Virgo, so I do like an extra an extra layer there.
It does actually have I can't remember which pathogen it kills, but I think it does have mild antibacterial properties to it. I could be wrong, but
I think so. I think so, and I think that's why I started that like after washing hand ritual. I don't know. So, okay, thanks for sharing your love potion. I love that. And I mean, to talk about that, so that kind of a love potion would be more of like in a romantic or intimate, physical, intimate love, right? And
yeah.
so to talk about self-love a little bit. And so, I mean, that's absolutely in the mix, right? And so for like a self-love potion, I mean, we're just talking about potions. I love that.
Yeah, this is Harry Potter herbology.
Right, Harry Potter herbology by Professor Dutton.
You know what? That one would work well for that as well, to be honest with you. It's just a really nice oil for centering you within you, but also sort of elevating things. One that I really do like for myself, it sounds a bit strange to some people, is I really like frankincense and fennel together, and lots of people would think that wouldn't work because fennel's quite it's almost like a licorice aniseed smell. But that with a bit of patchouli and ylang ylang. But I play around with the ratios a bit with that, and sometimes I'll add in rose if I've got it handy.
I love rose. Rose is, I keep saying, I'm shouting out my top faves: lavender, and then rose. And I actually can't find my rose oil, and I was really bummed about that. We were texting yesterday to like get prepared for this. I was like, "Where is my rose? Why can I not find it?" But I have some rose water that I usually just use to spritz around after I clean my house or whatever. So I love rose, and of course, rose is probably one of the most prominent flowers and scents used for romance, right?
Yeah. And I will say there are different preparations as well, like absolute, concrete, etc. Um, so, and it's quite expensive because one drop of rose oil is expressed from about 1,000 rose petals, and they have to collect them at dawn, so it has the right amount of moisture on the petals, which is why it's so expensive. If you really love that smell but you can't afford it, then you can get a close approximation. It's not perfect, but if you're not 100% paying attention, it's enough. Geranium, which is very similar, and patchouli, just to add that little musky scent to it together, you can usually get something approximating it there. And someone's just said it's a great boundary medicine too. Yay!
Yeah, for boundaries, I mean, rose water, it's one of the reasons why, like, after I clean my house or I'm, you know, anyways, I won't digress on that whole chapter, but it's great for, I'm guessing, Phaedra, you mean like energetic boundaries. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we could probably, this is supposed to be about love, but I mean, self-love and boundaries is like a huge thing with regards to love as well. So, I mean, off the fly, Rachel, don't mean to pick your brain here, but does anything for energetic boundaries, or even if people are like, that's a little woo for me, just something about like keeping, you know, personal space contained. Do you have any oil?
Do you know, I quite like some of the base oils for that. So the woodsy oils, but I think it depends on what scents make you feel strong. It's with the more sort of energetic medicine, it's more how it feels to with you. So for example, as I said about the chamomile example, it's fine to say that's relaxing, but for me, it wouldn't be. Um, Someone might say that peppermint is a great boundary oil because it can be quite bright and sort of hold people off. But equally, some people would be like, "Oh, yeah, that smells good," and feel drawn into that. So I think it's what works for you. But I do really like the base oils because it helps you feel more grounded and in yourself, more present and more aware of you. So, despite the fact that it does have a bit of spice to it, like frankincense, that still has quite a base note for me. So I feel that's a great one. A lot of the woodsy ones. I mean, quick look at the ones next to me.
I have a Palo Santo. I mean, you say the word Palo Santo and everyone, well, in the woo community will probably know what you're talking about, but that's a wood based, that's a wood. So, absolutely. I have that one too. I use that. And what were you, yeah, I like that. And I think the point of what you were saying is it's very, and that's for all of them. I mean, kind of the point of what we're talking about here, whether it's applicable to personal boundaries or self-care or self-love or love and intimacy with yourself or with others in a relationship or potential love. I mean, whoa, we could keep going on, but really the point is, how does it land with you? How does it feel with you? And how does it resonate with you? And so, like you were saying, chamomile may be super, like, well known for, hey, have a cup of chamomile tea at night, or like put some on to help calm you down. And you're like, that's not going to happen. And for me, same thing with Lang Lang, and also geranium too. It's kind of like I don't know about that. And so for me, not going to use that. And also if someone's wearing those, like you said, I'm going to kind of be like, okay, I'm not going to really get near that person because they're wearing something I know I don't really like to smell. So, I mean, it's really highly, highly personalized, right?
Yes. But interestingly, boundary issues are related to pelvic health as well.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. I mean, a lot of our conversations go back to women's health, FYI, people, if you didn't know. But it's so true. Yeah. Boundaries and our pelvic region, or I cannot remember our root chakra. And like you were saying, even grounding oils, it's all kind of connected and paralleling that way too. We might be getting a little too woo on here, but oh well. That's how we roll. For some people, we're like, huh, what are we talking about here? And so, okay, yeah, drop a comment if you guys have any questions or anything about essential oils. And Rachel, did you have any other thoughts or comments on essential oils, or did you want to roll into, I'm using the roll right into
I think maybe because of the time, it's worth sort of going on to reflexology.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I totally, these essential oils are going to my head. I'm like, what's time?
That's fine. Don't worry. So I thought I'd explain the theory behind it very basically. So it sounds really weird when someone says it's the body mapped onto the feet or the hands. And what it is, if you cut down midline and then do 5 lines on either side of that, you have zone 1, which is the inner bit, and zone 5, which is the outer bit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you map that out onto the foot. You should hopefully see the sort of stripes. And then roughly where the midline of the foot is roughly the midline of the body. Up here is sort of the head reflexes, down here is the pelvic reflexes. Legs and feet tend to be bits at the side, and arms and shoulders up here. The body organs are on the bottom side of the foot, and things like chest lymphatics are on the top side of the foot. So if you're ever looking at a foot map, that's what it's based on. The hand map just translates that slightly, and it's more accessible. So whilst it's lovely to get the foot rub, we're going to do hand rubs because you can do that yourself. So if you grab some cream, and I don't know if we have to finish bang on past or what time's like for you, Marina. So just tell me when you've got a few minutes warning. I'll speed up.
Time's fine for me. My next live isn't until 2 o'clock, so I'm good. As long I know it's late for you. It's 8:20 for you now, right?
Yeah, I'm good. So I just wanted to check, but give me a warning if we start overrunning. So just grab some cream or some oil. When you practice this, you can do a blend just to make sure you've mixed it pretty well. I've got a really cheap oat cream because I've got sensitive skin, if you didn't catch that earlier. So use a tiny bit to start with, and you can add more, but it's really hard to do any kind of massage if you're sliding around all over the place. Before you even get around to rubbing cream in, sometimes part of the whole aphrodisiac and getting used to intimacy is feeling what is feeling good for you. So some people, it's worth just rubbing your finger along the back of your hand very lightly. And for some people, that feels really pleasurable, having a very light stroke. So almost where you can just about feel the end of that touch. And some massage therapists just do that along the spine at the very end to help relax someone. And
a very light touch.
Yes. And also you've got the more firm touch, which you're actually moving sort of flesh around. And some people find that more pleasurable. Obviously, some people, when you're massaging, like that kind of bite of pain, the sort of pain where you lean into it. Any pain that you kind of like, oh, that's too far. So obviously just rub it into your hands. So there aren't many contraindications, which means reasons to not give reflexology to the hands like there are the foot. So basically, as long as you don't have a blood clot or gangrene hands, you're good to go.
Did you just say gangrene hands?
Yes.
Okay.
You would know if you had them because you would be in hospital.
Exactly. That's what I was like. Is she talking about? I'm sure people are going to be doing reflexology when they're in the hospital healing from gangrene.
They do. Some hospitals do have reflexologists in working on the foot that doesn't have gangrene.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And some, I have had someone turn up for a reflexology appointment who had a toe that was gangrenous, so I couldn't work on them. I had to get them to go to the hospital immediately.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. That's an aphrodisiac, the opposite. So we won't do that then. Right. So, moisten your hands. Normally, when I do hand reflexology, I do a complete routine on one hand and a complete routine on the other. But for the sake of demonstrating, if we do have to cut off time-wise, I'm going to do on one hand and then the same thing on the other hand. You can do either, to be honest. It's just to make sure it's consistent. So yeah, just make sure you get your hands to a point where they're moist enough to get a bit of a glide. But if you were to sort of add a little bit of pressure and then just move up against that pressure, you don't go whoop, and you add pressure.
So are we just pushing in on this like side pad?
Yeah, it's just the test that you're not too slippery at this point. So rub your hands together. I will say you really should wash your hands first, because if you've got anything on there, you're just going to get a gritty sensation.
Yeah, that's not sexy. That's not aphrodisiac. Love. Okay.
And people who don't exfoliate much, if you massage them, you'll get skin coming up. So, oh, actually, baby oil has a lot of silicates in, so it feels quite gritty. Again, not if you're doing a sensual massage, I would avoid the baby oil for that reason.
Oh no, the screen froze. Oh wait, it's circling. Can you hear me, Rachel?
I can hear you, but you've frozen for me as well.
Oh no.
Give it a minute to reset.
I know, it's because you're on the other side of the world. Okay, there you go. Hello.
Right, so make sure you've got some moisture. I need quite a lot. Apparently my hands are really dry today. So yeah, make sure you rub it into the back, both hands.
And so for those of you who are just, joining or hopping in or being like, what are we doing again? This is a hand reflexology routine for love as an aphrodisiac, self-love, or what kind of love are we talking about here?
I'm going for the aphrodisiac, sort of.
Okay, cool. So you could
working.
You could do this with either to yourself, but even to a partner, right?
Yeah. So some nice gentle strokes. Make sure we cover the bracelets and just the top parts of the forearms. Sometimes it can be nice when you're doing forearms, just sort of circle and go against it and sort of twist as you're going. I've just realised that looks like something else that we shall mention.
I didn't even notice until you mentioned it, so that's okay. I'm a romance author. Things get steamy in the book.
So if you want to make it more sensual, slower and lighter, or slower and a little bit firmer, I like to just bring it up off the fingers a little bit. I find that super relaxing.
And I'm guessing the way that you massage, like upwards and out towards the fingertips, that's important too, right?
Just simply because it's usually a bit more sort of pleasurable. Normally when you massage someone, you massage towards the heart, but with the fingers and the hand, it's a little bit different. There. And some people have super sensitive bits around here, so you can gently and it will feel really good to them. So when you've done that, I'm going to show you thumb walking, which we did a little bit earlier. So press your thumb in. So it's you can go in there. And
I
then
really
flick
right
up
now.
a bit, and then in, and then flick up a little bit, and in, and flick up a little bit. And you can just do this.
Okay, wait. I have like long nails right now. Should I be like using my nail, or should I be using like the...
Just go as far as the finger pad goes.
Okay.
No nail. That does not feel good to most people.
Yeah, you'll know your partner if they like the nail thing, then go for it, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to go through all the webbing of my hands this way. And again, some people find this like that's a particularly sensitive area. They find it particularly pleasurable. I'm just rotating my hands and moving them around because I'm trying to show them on the screen. Obviously, you wouldn't be waving your hands in the air. Hold your arms where it's comfortable, on a pillow, on a table in front of you. If you're doing your beloved's hands, you can sort of have their hand resting on your lap or your chest or whatever. So yeah, don't worry.
And so, in regards to reflexology, we are literally tapping into the various...
Yes, so that part is the spine on the hand, and all this is different parts of the head, and people don't realize that the brain is a really important part of the libido, because if you're not feeling out there, you're definitely not going to make the right hormones, and the brain controls the hormones, as well as obviously if you're stressed, it's going to send the stress signals throughout your body. So
when I'm training for love and intimacy coach training, one of the coaches always talked about how the number one or the biggest sex organ is actually your brain.
It is. And it controls all the sort of sensory feedback as well, so it is important. And again, you can sort of press in as much as you like, but Go with what feels good on you, and if you're doing this on a partner, do ask them. This is a lot slower than I do it in real life because I don't obviously normally want to excite patients or clients.
Right, right. You're not that kind of coach.
No. I do
Um,
unfortunately get messages asking about that kind of massage.
oh, I'm sure there's always those kinds of messages. I was gonna say something and now I forgot. Oh, it was gonna be about, oh, and so to tie into the essential oils, obviously you can make a blend, make that love potion blend. Rachel gave us the recipe for, and I'm sure the link is in the bio for the recipe, so you didn't have to write it down. And then you could use that with to do this, right? To blend in both things.
Yeah. And then when we get down here, just give it a good rub around the bracelets. So these are the reproductive organs. And in yoga, you've got mama points here for the reproductive organs. In reflexology, some people say here, some people say here, and some people say here. But I just like to give the whole area just a nice.
And what was it called?
Rub. Sorry?
What was it called? You said something with an M?
Mama points. M-A-R-M-A.
Marma. Okay.
And there are some acupressure points here as well. So I like to give this a good rub back and forth and then continue with my finger walking or thumb walking, same technique. I would normally use my thumb, but I'm just using my finger here so you can see it. Do that all the way around.
Is there a, from a reflexology standpoint, is there a point on the hand that you should, avoid touching to use it for, love or whatever in that kind of a sense? I hope that question makes sense. Like, is there like like with the Clary stage, don't use that one.
No. If it's painful, then yes. Some people, I'm quite hydrated, so it's not an issue. There is a urinary bladder point there, and if you put pressure on, can make someone need to pee.
All right, so ladies, if you want to not be intimate, then you use the stage on the guys and then push the urinary point. I'm just kidding. That was a terrible. I should probably get that out. But anyways, okay.
Do the same on the other hand too, as well. I'm going a bit faster, just in interest of time. But don't forget, you can still rub. You can still do this. You can rub upwards. Do what feels good. It's the best thing. So it's called thumb walking and finger walking, this technique. It's a cool one for reflexology. So when we've done that, I like to go back up and just squeeze. So I'm just pushing in. You can see I'm squeezing here. So I'm counterbalancing on the nail bed. And then just do this kind of like circular motion here. And I'm going to do that on the tops of all the fingers, back up to the brain again.
And these are all separate organs or points in the body is what
these are all different parts of the brain.
The brain. Okay.
To be honest with you, I try not to get too specific with the reflex maps because as long as you get, when especially on the feet, as long as you get all the areas and decent pressure, you're going to hit everywhere. But
no,
it can be it can be really useful. So I've had pain in an area when I was 11, which was an organ I got removed when I was 26. And when I learned reflexology, I found out it was that organ. I was like, oh!
Wow.
That's crazy that it showed up then as a really painful place on my foot, that it shouldn't have been painful, but I used to start yanking my foot away and all sorts. Yeah, so doing that. And then you can also do like a squeeze, wiggle back and forth, and then a sort of flick off. Some people really love this and some people hate it, but it's more of an energetic thing.
So for those of you who are watching the replay or are here, let us know what you think about this. Reflexology, essential oils for love, aphrodisiacs, intimacy, self-love, self-care, all the things. Let us know.
Yeah. So the next time I'm going to do circular movements upwards of the finger. You could do both sides of the finger with your finger and thumb, actually. And again, some people really like the flick off at the end. What feels good.
So like when I get sometimes when I haven't in a while, but when I get a manicure at the salon, at the end, sometimes they'll add in like just a quick like hand massage. And it always feels really good afterwards. You feel like you're getting like pampered, you know?
Yeah, I do like it when they add that in. So I'm going to do double fingered on this hand as well, in the interest of time.
Sure. That's what I've been doing. And I mean, if nothing else, it really just increases the circulation of blood flow, which is always a good thing.
Yeah. And obviously I've got my hands in the air, which decreases the blood flow to my hands. So you would be doing this at a normal height. I'm just trying to hold my hands in a position you can see. So, and again, experiment with speed and see how it feels. Okay, you can always go back to just some nice soothing hand rubs as well in between, which I sometimes do. It's all the way from the wrist up to the end. Do you know what? After all the hand washing videos of the last year, it's also a really good way of how to massage your hands thoroughly. So if you're not sure, just follow one of those slowly. So next, chest lymphatics, which the breast area would be here. This isn't going to stimulate the breast in a sexually exciting way, but it's just good to make sure there's no puffiness. So in between the bones of the hands, you can just do that sort of finger walking again, or you can just do a little bit of rubbing in between. And even on guys, this is really good as well because the chest gets really congested if you sit down all day. You can even do a bit of sort of squeeze cleaning in between the bones. This one's quite nice to be done firm. Some people get a bit sore as well, so just be aware. Come back to the point again in the middle. And then again, you can either do up, rub, or just, this is cleaning in between the bones if you do this. And if you use a keyboard as well, this is really good to get your hands feeling better at the end of the day.
That's a good point for those of you who are writing or just typing at a computer all day, your day job or author or whatever it is. You know, it's always a good technique, right?
Yes. So next we're going to go to the pituitary point, which is the side of the thumb here. On the foot, it's kind of in the toe, you have to dig in, but on the thumb, it's here on the side. So you can feel there's like a dip here. So just press in. It can be with your finger or your thumb. And then just do a circle with some pressure applied.
This is quite an extensive hand massage or reflex.
That's why when people say, isn't reflexology just a foot massage or a hand massage? No, very different. And because I like to cover the same place as the foot reflex, I also do it in the middle as well. And I tend to spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes here, because the pituitary is the bit that secretes the active hormones into the body. So like follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, etc. And then again on this hand on the side in that dip, I'm not actually digging in with my thumb on that side. And then again the pressure in the middle. So the next bit's the kidney stroke adrenal glands, which is this sort of fleshy pad in the middle. This is also a great point for migraine relief, and it's also a great point for constipation release as well. So if you're a bit bunged up, grab and add a bit of pressure and hold it there for about 5-10 minutes. But for a more sensual massage, we're just going to do a gentle grab and circle. And again, you can do a bit of cleaning between.
And how long have you been doing reflexology?
2014, I think I qualified.
Nice. It's a long time.
Yeah.
So you know what you're talking about.
It's still one of my favorite therapies as well, actually. You can. I've literally had people come to me with really bad period pain, and their periods are on there and then, so I can't massage their abdomens. But within like 2 or 3 minutes of getting my hands on their feet, the pain goes completely.
Wow.
Which I don't think is magical on my part. I think it's just autonomic inhibition, but it's still pretty amazing. And autonomic inhibition means you're just distracting the nervous system with something different.
Yeah. And that's a good technique even just for tons of things. I mean, we're talking about love here. So that's also a technique to help to, not necessarily turn off the brain, but like, distract.
Athletes use it a lot for cramp when you see them getting a leg massage. That's what you're doing. Okay, so lower back is this area here. So this is our sacrum, and that feeds all the nerves into our pelvic cavity. So just spend some time going back and forth along this area. And if you want to work upwards, you can. So I tend to go across and up. And this is some of your lower organs, or you can go across the hand. The most important thing is you do what feels good.
How long is a typical, I don't know, is it called a reflexology session or?
I usually do an hour, either on the hand or on the foot, or I've done certain techniques which I liken to deep tissue reflexology, which are really intense. And that's 10 minutes on each foot, and then I'll go on and do like the wound massage afterwards. But those ones are particularly helpful for, people who are actively in pain there and then. Maybe they've got flared up endometriosis. I will do that on the foot, and that seems to get them to a point where I can then touch their abdomens.
Yeah.
The next is going to the reproductive organs. So on this side is ovaries or testicles, and on this side is uterus or prostate.
You can't see your hand. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Ovaries, testicles on the outside, uterus, prostate on the inside. If you think this is zone 1 on the inside. So, and then again, still a similar place on the back. And then repeat. And back. And then at this point, I would look at just some slow, relaxing strokes just to finish off. And as I said, some people love to get really light here, just for the sensual effect. Finish off. And some people have really sensitive palms as well. So feel free to experiment. And there you have it.
And there we have it, a whole reflexology routine for love, self-love, any kind of love, really. And you can use the love potions or the essential oils as well to have like an added boost. Okay, so if anyone either watching the replay or is here, just feel free to let us know if you have any questions or if you have any how this experience was for you, what it felt like, all the thoughts, all the things. Let us know. We're more than happy to. And I'm sure, Rachel, if you don't mind popping in, I'll tag you if there are comments and questions for you.
Fine.
About that. Okay, so before we wrap this up, Rachel, did you have any other, speaking of thoughts and questions, did you have any other thoughts or comments before we close?
Just remember to do what feels good for you. So, you know, when you're using essential oils or massaging, pay attention to what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Forget what other people say, what something technically should be. Yeah, just play and go with your gut. And obviously, if you're massaging your partner, again, if they're saying ow and you're like, but this is supposed to stimulate your libido, just leave it. Just leave it. So yeah, go with what feels good. Use it as an opportunity to experiment and play. We don't do that much as adults, do we? We don't play.
We don't. And we also sometimes forget to listen, like what you were saying, listen to our own cues and how our own feelings and emotions and physical responses. And so I like that, and kind of like seems to be the theme for today with regards to either essential oils or the reflexology hand routine. At the end of the day, it sounds like it's really important to just listen to how it feels to you, or how it smells to you. What one use may be, it may bring up something totally different, or like you said, it might feel not so great or whatever. So I think that's a pretty good summary of what we were talking about, right?
Yes. And also, if you're not coupled but you're looking, again, go with what feels good. If you're on a date with someone and you're not feeling it, it's okay. You can go.
Great party. Yeah, if you're on a date with someone and you're not feeling it, it's okay to leave. Okay, let's see. Hey, Julie, I see that you joined. It's late for you. Same with Rachel. Rachel's in the UK also.
Hi.
Rachel. Okay, so I think that's it. So Rachel, if people really resonated with what you said, or if they wanted to know more about what you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, so my website is periodwhisperer.com. All my social handles are The Healthy Womb, because that used to be my website. But I've done a big update and change. So you can find me on Instagram. As I said, if you go to my bio, you will find links to the blog post, and also the essential oils, like beginners, safety, and just general information about how to store them and keep them in good condition on there. So yeah, feel free to go along.
Thank you. And sorry, just as you were talking about blog posts, so I know you wrote a blog post to accompany this talk today. So feel free, if you guys were like wanting to, if you didn't want to take notes or anything, you can go and check out the link in her bio and get a good recap in a Word format. I don't know if that's
Written
right.
format?
Written format. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going. Whew, it has been a day, let me tell you. All right, so I think that's it. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And for those of you who are watching, next up, in about an hour, I'll be going live with my friend Courtney, and we're going to do some card readings, oracle card, tarot card readings, all about love and relationships and social. She'll do card readings, so if you wanted to join and hop on, we'll have fun. We'll have fun with the cards. Maybe bring your own cards too if you have some. Okay. All right. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank
Bye.
you. Lovely day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.